Well, we start with some good news from the Whitten Oval, where the Western Bulldogs have finally been able to tie down two of their biggest names. Caleb Daniel, their star defender, putting pen to paper on a new 4-year deal. Pretty good money, mind you, as he deserves. Certainly puts him in the top bracket of earners at the kennel. And then there's Tim English, a new 2-year contract for him, which at least puts to bed the speculation about a return home to Perth for now. And also, as we've seen many times before with players gone by, a 2-year deal takes him to his free agency trigger, which will be his 8-year service in the competition. They've got plenty of work to do, the Dogs. They did sign Jack McRae to a new 5-year deal at the start of the year. Bailey Dale, their star defender, all-Australian halfback, being chased really hard by rival clubs. Bailey Smith needs a new deal. Alex Keith as well. Josh Dunkley, Jason Johannesson. So Sam Power and his list management team still with plenty to do at the Western Bulldogs. Well, plenty of players have been mentioned in trade dispatches in the first half of the year. Dan McStay, Carl Amon, obviously Jordan De Goey, Willie Owoni leave Collingwood. But perhaps the biggest fish left on the table is Melbourne's young ruck prodigy in Luke Jackson. Now, Melbourne, I preface this by saying I've always been supremely confident that Luke Jackson will put pen to paper on a new deal with the Demons. So this requires perhaps a little bit of imagination. So work with me a little bit here. Luke Jackson has just been given 4 days off like the rest of the Melbourne playing group. They've got the bye, only a 10-day break because they've got the Thursday night game on their return. But they've been given some time off. So Luke Jackson goes home to Perth. David Walls is the Fremantle list manager based in Melbourne. He's also due back in Perth today or tomorrow. Now, the Fremantle Dockers have been really shy in offering new contracts to guys like Bailey Banfield, Blake Acres, Griffin Lowe, and the contracts they have offered to the likes of Alex Pearce have been relatively underwhelming. So the industry is awash with speculation that Fremantle are saving their pennies for something decent. Is it Luke Jackson, who will be in town in the coming days? Does he meet with David Walls? Does he meet with his own manager, Jason Dover, of course, who is based in Perth? And is there an element of tie kicking that goes with Luke Jackson, at least to see what sort of scene might await him at Fremantle, who are playing some really good footy, are in the premiership window, and obviously it's where he comes from. So it's one to watch out for. It's a fascinating development at the moment in terms of Luke Jackson, whether he stays or goes. I mentioned industry speculation in Fremantle. The word is, it's a 7-year offer at massive money from the Dockers that they've indicated they're prepared to offer Luke Jackson. Does he stay for a couple of years or does he go now? Hopefully all becomes clear in the not too distant future. Let's cast our attention to Moorabbin, where St Kilda have again been pretty active in trade negotiations in the first half of the year. They've been linked strongly to Jordan De Goey, linked strongly to Andy McGrath. Before we get to Andy McGrath, they've got a ruckman in Rowan Marshall they need to re-sign. He's a pretty important piece of their puzzle, isn't he? But talks have started between Rowan Marshall's manager, David Trotter of Hemisphere Management Group, and St Kilda list boss, James Gallagher. So that is progressing steadily and smoothly, I'm told, so there's no issues there. I don't envisage there being any drama with Rowan Marshall staying at St Kilda, where he loves life at Moorabbin. Andy McGrath, if St Kilda are legitimately interested, I think it'll be for naught. Andy McGrath has pledged his future to the Bombers, who are supremely confident that their young midfielder halfback is going to stay at that football club. Yes, he does need a new deal, but he has assured a Bombers hierarchy that his future lies at Essendon. So I don't see Andy McGrath leaving Tullamarine anytime soon. So while Andy McGrath is perhaps set to stay, is Dyson Heppell set to stay? He certainly wants to. But at the moment, all requests from Dyson Heppell and his management to sit down and negotiate a new contract since November have fallen on deaf ears at Essendon. He's reinstated as captain this year. He's been made to take a lot of bullets for that footy club. He's fronted up for some big interviews on the couch. He spoke with real passion, didn't he, with the current group and the club legends on Friday night against the Blues. Is he going to get a new deal, though, at Essendon? Because there are rival clubs, we're told, who are monitoring this situation with a lot of interest. They perhaps believe that Dyson Heppell isn't playing the proper role on field at the moment. We know at Essendon's been chopped and changed from a half-back to a wing. Spent a lot of the game against the Blues on a wing as well. Is that where he's best suited at the moment? And also they see the leadership qualities in someone like Dyson Heppell, who can perhaps come in and at least mentor or guide the next generation of leaders at any particular club. So one to watch with Dyson Heppell and whether he stays at the Bombers. Well, if the Adelaide Crows are hunting a big fish, which is what the Jungle Drums are beating with, it won't be Jack Lukosius and Isaac Rankin, the two young South Australians who have started their careers up at the Gold Coast Suns. Ben King re-signed a few months ago now, but that signature is set to be followed very, very soon by the versatile Jack Lukosius, first and foremost, and then Isaac Rankin will stay at the Gold Coast Suns. Certainly with the former, that's just about done, and with the latter, Gold Coast envisaging no issues there, and talks are underway on a new deal for Isaac Rankin. Darcy Cameron, hasn't he played some good football down here at Collingwood in the absence of Brodie Grundy, who left a big hole in the centre of the park for the Pies? Well, Darcy Cameron has thrived on that responsibility, and that has seen negotiations start on a new deal for Darcy Cameron, who has said publicly and declared his love for the Pies on the record, and he's got all intentions of staying there, and it looks as though the feeling is mutual, so expect that one to be ratified in the not too distant future.